Hello students, I am Mamta Yadav, TGT Social Science from KV number 2 Infantry Lines, Jamnagar. Today I am going to make a video on the chapter 4 Electoral Politics. Let us start with overview. In previous chapters, we have read that in a democracy it is neither possible nor necessary for people to govern directly, so we need the representatives who can rule. We begin this chapter by understanding why elections are necessary. We will try to understand electoral system in India. Let us start the chapter with an example. In the starting of the page, we can see that it's a newspaper report which we come to know that it's midnight. A crowd is sitting since 5 hours. They are waiting for their favorite leader, whose name is Tau Devilal. He is chief of Haryana Sangharsh Samiti. He is 76 years old leader and is very much busy man these days because it's the state assembly election time in Haryana. In 1987, the state has been ruled by a Congress party lead government since 1982. Chaudhry Devilal is an opposition leader and formed a new party, Lok Dal. He joined other opposition parties and formed a front against the Congress. He makes some promises to the voters before the elections. His party wins. He became the CM of Haryana and he just started to fulfill his promises. This is an example to learn election regarding activities. Before election regarding activities, it is necessary to know why do we need elections. A rule of the people is possible without any elections if all the people can sit together every day and take all the decisions. But this is neither possible in any large community nor it is possible for everyone to have the time and knowledge to take decisions on all matters. Therefore, in most democracies, people rule through their representatives. We need election so that we can choose who will make laws for us. We need election so that we can choose who will form the government and take major decisions. We need it to choose the party whose policies will guide the government and lawmaking. Now, let us come to the next topic, that is what makes an election democratic. In previous chapters, we had learned that in many countries elections are held, but they can't really be called democratic elections. So here are some minimum conditions for a democratic elections. First, everyone should be able to choose. It means right to vote. Second, there should be something to choose, means there should be real choice to the voters. Third, the choice should be offered at regular intervals. It means elections should be regularly held after every few years, and India that interval is 5 years. Fourth, the candidate preferred by the people should get elected, means the candidate who wins get a chance, get a place. Fifth, elections should be conducted in a free and fair manner, so no unfair means should be used. So these are some conditions which makes an election democratic. Let us move to the next topic. Is it good to have political competition? The most obvious form is the competition among political parties. At the constituencies level, it takes the form of competition among several candidates. If there is no competition, elections will become pointless. But is it good to have political competition? Clearly, an electoral competition has many demerits. It creates a sense of disunity in locality. So, अगर competition honestly हो तो ये सही है. स्टूडेंट्स, हमने जान लिया है कि इलेक्शंस हैं वो ज़रूरी है या नहीं है. ज़रूरी है तो क्यों है. आप चलो पढ़ते हैं इलेक्शन सिस्टम इन आवर कंट्री. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, what is a general election? Elections are held in the constituencies at the same time, either on the same day or within a few days. This is called a general election. On the other hand, sometimes election is held only for one constituency to fill the vacancy caused by death or resignation of a member. This is called by-elections. These are some steps for elections in India. First of all, electoral constituencies. Yes, the country is divided into different areas for purpose of elections. These areas are called electoral constituencies for Lok Sabha. Electoral constituencies को हिंदी में निर्वाचन क्षेत्र कहा जाता है. The representative elected for each constituency is called a member of parliament. Similarly, each state is divided into a specific number of assembly constituencies. In this case, the elected representative is called the member of legislative assembly or an MLA. Some constituencies are reserved for people who belong to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. In a scheduled caste reserved constituency, only someone belonging to the scheduled caste can stand for elections or can contest election. Similarly, only those belonging to the scheduled tribes can contest an election for a constituency reserved for ST. Currently, in Lok Sabha, 84 seats are reserved for the scheduled caste and 41 for the scheduled tribes. You can understand it by this figure. You can see through this map the total constituencies are 543 for general, 412, and for reserved categories it is 84 constituencies, and for scheduled tribes it is given 47. After dividing the whole country into constituencies, voter list is prepared. It is an important step, for it is linked to the first condition of a democratic election. Everyone should get an equal opportunity to choose representatives. Everyone should have one vote and each vote should have equal value. In our country, all the citizens aged 18 years and above can vote in an election. Every citizen has the right to vote regardless of his or her caste, religion and gender. Means no one is being discriminated on the basis of caste, religion and gender. Some criminals and persons with unsound mind can be denied the right to vote, but only in a rare situation. Officially, voter list is also called electoral roll. Let us move to the next topic, nomination of the candidates. Every person who wishes to contest an election has to fill a nomination form. Every candidate has to make a legal declaration giving full details of serious criminal cases pending against the candidate, details of the assets and liabilities of the candidate, and his or her family details and educational qualifications. After filling nomination form, candidates begin electoral campaigns. It is time to have a free and open discussion about who is a better representative, which party will make a better government, or what is a good policy. In between, political parties try to focus public attention on some big issues. Here are some successful slogans given by different political parties in various elections. Congress Party, led by Indira Gandhi, gave the slogan of Garibi Hatao in the Lok Sabha election of 1971. Save Democracy was another slogan given by Janata Party in the next Lok Sabha election held in 1977. You can see in your book that some other slogans are also given which were used by different parties to put their policies in front of voters. During election campaign, according to our election law, no party or candidate can bribe or threaten voters. No one can appeal the voters in the name of caste and religion. No party or candidate can use government resources for election campaigns, and no one can spend 20 more than 25 lakhs in a constituency for a Lok Sabha election, or rupees 10 lakh in a constituency in an state assembly election. According to the code of conduct, no party or candidate use any place of worship for election propaganda, cannot use government vehicles, aircrafts and officials for election. Once elections are announced, ministers shall not lay foundation stones of any projects, take any big policies, decisions, or make any promises of providing public facilities. Means after applying code of conduct, no ruling party can announce any new policy in front of the voters to allure the voters. The final stage of election is the day when the voters cast or poll their votes. That day is usually called the election day. Means जब इलेक्शन डे के दिन वोटर्स पोलिंग बूथ पे जाते हैं और अपना वोट डालते हैं. Nowadays, electronic voting machine are used to record votes. The machine shows the names of the candidates and party symbols. Independent candidates to have their own symbols allotted by election commission. You can also ask about it to your family members who have right to vote. But in ancient time, a ballot paper is used for election purposes. A ballot paper is a sheet of paper on which the names of the contesting candidates along with party name and symbol are listed. A few days later, on a fixed date, all the EVMs are opened and the votes secured by each candidate are counted. The candidate who secures the highest number of votes from a constituency is declared elected, and in this way election activities happen. So that's enough for today. We will complete this chapter in next video. Thanks.